Welcome back to the Absurd Show. We got a beautiful Friday episode for you here at the start of July. Sardor, how are we feeling today?
Dude, it's almost mid-July. Yeah, we're actually closer to mid-July than beginning of it. But yeah, feeling great. I'm back in Miami and ready to crush it. It's nothing can beat the South Florida sun and the energy. Like I'm looking at the window and just can't wait to be done with the day in a way and go out there and chill and enjoy the Florida sun that I missed.
Yes, love that. Love that for you. I'm looking at some rain up here just an hour away from you, but maybe the sun will peek through here soon.
I mean, it's coming towards us, so that's fine. Okay.
Let's jump into the topics today. Sardor, I'm going to give you one word for each topic, and you're going to pick which one we start with.
Okay, let's do it.
Comet, MRR, just in time, poaching, and animation.
Okay, I think the moment I hear anything like revenue related, it's definitely got to be
You want the
MRR.
MRR one? All right, let's do it. Let's share this screen.
Are we talking
here.
monthly recurring revenue or reoccurring? Because I just found out the difference that in the service industry, you should call it reoccurring instead of recurring because it's not automatic charges.
Little terminology salad there. All right. This one is a pretty simple tweet. And Nathan Covey said, for the first time in my life, I can officially say I have MRR. He's got a $20 one subscriber here. But why I picked this is I want to talk to you about the topic of getting started. We've seen this, with a handful of our clients, probably experienced it ourselves. The concept of trying to perfect things before just getting started, launching, getting out there. Nobody can buy your product if it's not available. So what do you think about, this tweet here and that concept?
Yeah, no, dude, I remember first time we had our first subscriber on Lando AI. It was surreal. It was surreal. I mean, mind you, at the time, we were already making like 6 figures a month as an agency, right? That $7 subscription hits different. When it's truly that's why I laugh when agency owners like myself say MRR. I always correct, all right, if you really want to romanticize and call your agency service revenue an MRR, call it reoccurring instead of recurring. And truly, if it's reoccurring, it should be predictable and you should be able to sell the same every month, which we're not able to do that either. Like we have some retainer clients, but most of them are like fixed contract. But I mean, not to get out of topic, but just wanted to clearly define that MRR is a product focused thing and it's a subscription. But yeah, it hits different, man. Getting to that 0 to 1 is really, it gives you such like a freaking dopamine. Like I was just so incredibly happy when we had our first subscriber on Lando AI that to this day, I think as a subscriber, there's like multiple. We haven't really scaled that product, but like that recurring revenue hits different 100%. So congratulations to Nathan. He's, whatever his product is, honestly, I suspect it's vibe coded, right? That probably hits even more differently. It's just incredible how he's not an engineer. He's able to get a revenue with no engineering knowledge, with no product knowledge. Like that's incredible. Harmony AI app.
Yeah, the Harmony AI app. I'm curious of if that's a dating app or...
Wharton Admit. Look at that guy. Wharton Admit. I've heard like students, dropouts, graduates. I've never heard somebody say they're an admit. Like,
That's funny.
should I list all colleges admin admitted to? Like,
Go a layer before that. Applied. Wharton applied.
or like aspirationalist, Harvard aspirationalist. Like,
Check the Harvard
Nathan,
website.
congrats, but we're trolling you here, man. Like, you really killed it with that.
Yeah, no, and adding on to that concept, I remember the first organic sale. Whether it's a digital product or a physical product, it's still the same feeling, and especially when they come in from organic, it's not your friend or family or something like that.
Yeah.
When those start trickling in, those first sales, the momentum that it gives you, the rush is pretty huge.
Yeah. I remember my first Shopify sale. I was looking at my partner and said, "You're just fucking with me right now. You just did this. Yeah, there's no way somebody bought this."
Exactly. Getting to that feeling, I think, is one of the most important steps a business owner or founder can have. And, the simple put advice here is don't wait, get out there. What's the one saying, Sardor, that if you aren't embarrassed by your first version of your product,
Put it out
you
too
launched
late.
too late or something.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. And regarding launches too, like don't overthink it because you know what's the worst thing that's gonna happen? Nothing. Like if your launch flops, it's not like the whole world is gonna know it. You're not Google. Like
Or
nobody's gonna notice.
fire festival, right?
Huh?
Or fire festival.
Yeah, Firefest, by the way, they put it out for sale. Like, if I had some play money, I would have bought that thing. You know, it's just that's a funny topic.
Yeah,
But
I think there's 3 more days in that auction, and last I saw it was at like 210,000.
200, yeah. Out of honesty, you can make like a good acquirer of that can make their money back like 10x.
Yeah, and I actually posted about that yesterday. A worthy side tangent here. Billy McFarland, the guy behind Fire Festival, he follows me on Twitter,
Wow.
and he posted yesterday about the whole story because he was doing a whole Fire Festival too after he got out of jail, right?
Wow.
One of the lines was, first time around, I failed and scammed people. Second time around, I still failed, but I got scammed. And it was something about the whole Mexican government, a specific province approved him having the Fire Festival 2 there. And then, like, the central government posted, they posted, we've never heard of Fire Festival on their Instagram. And then, like, 10 posts before that, they welcome Fire Festival to Mexico. The same account, the government account.
What?
Yeah. So they just completely reversed on him. One of the things cited was that previous festivals in Mexico had like violence and shootings and things like that, so they didn't want it to turn into
Wow. Wow,
crazy.
that's wild. How did turntable that? And
Yeah,
the
how the
guy.
turntables have turned.
Yeah.
Speaking of turning, let's roll into our next topic. I'm gonna pick this one. I think we're gonna go over to just in time. Now, this is a nice, cool graphic here talking about technical debt and how AI fits into that. So, we started with AI at Copilot, where it can help you build something. Now, in the vibe coded area, we're very close to just in time software. And what this rings a bell for me as when we talked about doing that internal vibe coding challenge starter, right? I can go just in time and build a simple dashboard and way to track that and wait for people to submit that. And I think that is where we're going to start going is in eventually just in time. You can build that software right there, right then, right now. And eventually, as we see here, living software too, where it continuously adapts itself and you don't even gotta do weekly releases. The software is just living. Any thoughts here?
So like essentially this guy's saying like so there's no tech debt because everything is disposable. Like whatever you built, you just throw it away because you rebuild because you're like looking to like just rebuild. I see. That's kind of what's happening right now with our leads that are coming in the pipe and they're like every would I say like fourth lead that's coming in the pipe right now has a vibe coded version of their product and we yet have to have somebody who builds something meaningful enough where we can reuse it. We're throwing it away where it's disposable, but it's serving as a great prototype and it gives a way better idea to us of what to build than them just describing the idea. Because once they see it, they're able to like iterate, tinker with it. They'll bring us something that's workable, right? And so I agree with this. So, it's his stages here though, I have to digest. Like, so he's shown like living software. Okay, just in time software. We are here, Copilot. Okay. So we're getting to Copilot is what he's saying?
Yeah, how I read it is Copilot is where you just have a sidekick there as a developer, but you still have decent sized timelines and you still have your processes, right? Whereas I think you hit the nail on the head there with vibe coding, lovable, you name it, is at the edge of prototype slash simple MVP, right? And I think that this graphic shows that. So once we get to, it can build an MVP for even the average person, I think that gets us into just in time and then living where it manually updates based on user data, usage, and feedback, which is wild.
Wow. No, for sure. I have a product idea for this too that we can talk about on either next episode or just tease it out here where, I think like, honestly, yeah, the vibe coding alongside with a good scope can really be used as a perfect asset to approach agencies that would have a much better understanding of what you want and have a way less of a scope creep down the road once you have that prototype, even if they're going to traditionally build it. Even us, I think like we're going to talk about this separately, but Andrew, I want to launch this service for like kind of how we have like a prototype package. I want to combine that with something where we're going to vibe code something within it as well as a next tier of the prototype package. So as a context to our listeners, we've been offering $1,000 Figma prototype that we built in 4 weeks. I want to upgrade that to the next level where it's like, let's say 15 to 20K, and we vibe code something alongside with that for you in 4 weeks, whatever we can, right? But that gets you a way better something to, maybe you'll be a usable MVP, something that we can just use as an asset to take it to the next level and like traditionally build it out, right?
Yes. And that reminds me of something I mentioned to you the other day that I think is really important. The reason we can't reuse all these builds that people are bringing in is because the architecture isn't always set up in the right way. It's fairly rigid, taking a build in Lovable or something similar and trying to build on top of that when you get into integrations and things a little more complex. That's why the fresh build has to come in. But what I mentioned to you, I also think it's a little bit of keyboard, who's behind the keyboard, right? I think vibe coding is truly just a combined demonstration of one, how well you understand AI and how prompting functions, and two, how well you understand app building. When you describe components, modules, features in the same way that a app developer would, yeah. When you have that combined between the AI understanding and app building understanding, I think you're going to vibe code much better and produce a much better result, that could potentially go live as an MVP and doesn't have to be scraped necessarily. And to your point about that package, we should offer that as testing, like a live vibe coding, right? They can start getting user feedback immediately while they're building a more robust, clean, true MVP.
1000%. That's literally, I think this is where we're going to lean towards. I had this case real quick to mention out today, is like with one of our potential clients where we had a proposal out for a little over $50,000. And I called her today, to say, hey, how are things going? Are you thinking of move forward? And she goes like, honestly, I'm like changing my mind. I don't know if I want to actually shell out 50K for something that I'm not confident about yet. How do we go about if I have to pivot, she asked. And then it hit me. I said, you know what, let's start with a 15K vibe coding package where we allocate a vibe coder for 4 weeks and we build you something. And plus we are going to use that as a deposit towards your build. So, and she loved it. She's like, oh my God, yes, let's do it. Like, I'm all for it. This sounds way better than a 50K thing. So you're absolutely right. And she'll be able to use this while we're building a product. Or she might pivot right after, so we don't have to build something that she doesn't want and she doesn't have to burn 50K. Burning 15 is way better than burning 50. And how many people have we lost that kind of like freaked out the moment they saw the bill, right?
I need something simpler to start. I need something simpler for investors. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And to us, it's the Costco hot dog. Get them in the door.
Exactly. But not just with the hot dog. It's like, this is something valuable, more valuable than just a hot dog, right? I mean, but yeah, we're probably not gonna, just make a ton of money from that. But yeah, it's something that's gonna help our customers.
Beautiful. Love this graphic. Shout out to Aiden there.
Aiden back.
Let's roll over into poaching. Now, I'm sure you have an idea of what this is about. And I think on a previous episode, we talked a little bit about how software developers are going to enter a new age where they are almost like your Paul Pogba of the soccer world or your Tom Brady of the basketball world. And we're now kind of seeing that in real action. These people are getting $100, $200, $300 million offers from Zuck over at Meta. And he's been poaching away at the OpenAI team, as well as some other reputable brands. What are your thoughts here?
Wow, this is wild. $300 million. That is insane.
Yep.
Okay. Well, we've seen the $100 million one, and if you've seen my post, you've reposted my LinkedIn thing where I said,
Yep.
I love how this is traded. It's like in the
Traded.
baseball, right? Dude,
Maybe
another
we should
business
start
idea.
posting that, posting graphics like that when people get
100%. Another business idea, no joke. Somebody should create like baseball cards of tech people.
NFTs.
NFTs, yes. Like Snoop Dogg dropped his NFTs on Telegram the other day and it sold out. But no, somebody should actually do like the cards, whether that's virtual NFTs or physical cards. Like somebody should do like collectibles of these people. And it's just like, because this is getting very close to how like sports work. And like this is a direct comparison to athletes, right? To those who haven't heard of what I'm talking about, is like somebody made a great comparison to how Real Madrid bought Ronaldo from Man United for $80 million.
Yeah.
And now Meta bought this engineer for $100 million, or this guy for $300 million. And it sounds insane because nobody's done it in tech, but I really respect Zuck for like pioneering this because it makes sense. How much bigger is Meta than these sports clubs? They're way bigger than sports clubs. It only makes sense for them to pay a huge amount for players.
Yeah.
And for this guy, $300 million, gosh, of course he will switch.
Crazy, crazy, crazy.
But what surprises me here more than this is actually the fact that they're still supporting React.js so much. Crazy. To those who don't know, to our clients, by the way, did you know, Andrew, that the version of React and React Native that Facebook has is a different closed source version than the ones that other developers have access to? So the version of React.js and React Native is not the same at Meta than it is what we have access to.
I did not know that. And that's very ironic because I saw a post the other day about that is what Meta is going to do with the Llama model, right? They went open source to try to kneecap, is what the post said, kneecap the competition. But they said that super intelligence team they're putting together right now, as you see here, is going to be putting together some closed source models that are going to be proprietary. Meta's going to sell them. They went the other route. They went open source first, and who knows, we'll see. But to your exact point there, they've already done it.
Zuck's very smart. He does it like double standards. So he open sources the contribution side to him, like basically others contributing to what Meta has, like to React and others. Like they take everything from the open source community,
Yeah.
but then they pick out what's best version of it for themselves, and they don't open source that. So it's very much a double standard thing that Zuck plays. She's a shark. This guy is extremely smart. I think in our lifetime, my prediction is like he's gonna beat Elon Musk in terms of achievements in his career.
Interesting.
That's my prediction.
Yeah. Well, there you have it. Zuck's having his cake and eating it too.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. What's next? I think this is a good next one. Comet here. People have been talking about Perplexity Comet, a new product that they released. So this guy asked it to go find subreddits that people would ask cooking questions on, then find common questions and come up with ad angles for those for Hexclad, this example brand here. And for kicks, he had it make a static ad for it. But if we zoom in here a little bit to this video, you can see, I wish I could zoom in further, but I'll read the prompt. What subreddits are best for learning about cookware? Go search for those common questions that people are asking, then come up with angles that could be used as ads to promote Hexclad, the best cookware.
Which is what he's the founder of Hexclad.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And Perplexity Comet went through it well. It found the specific subreddits where it was mentioned in detail, the most common questions and angles that they could be for ads. Now, I've seen similar things to this with general GPT or other things out there, but I do think Perplexity has the leg up on the search side of AI.
100%. And, somebody's going to definitely take part of this market. I don't think it's going to honestly turn into a dominance of one browser anymore. Although it's hard to break Google's dominance on this because every browser except for Safari runs on Chromium. For those who don't know, Chromium is the backend engine for Chrome. And the entire web right now is designed to serve Chromium. Talking about that pop-up ad that says, switch to Chrome to open this website. So are users really going to struggle with this, or is this already built on Chromium? I think it is. So if it is, then it's fine.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
It
I
probably
haven't
is.
wrapped my head around exactly what Comet is. Is Comet a model of Perplexity?
No,
And
it's a browser. It's a new browser.
it's a browser specifically. Okay, interesting.
And my take on why is everybody building a browser all of a sudden? You know that OpenAI just got confirmed that they're building a browser too.
Yes, and
Which
Arc. You familiar
yeah.
with the browser
Arc,
company
yep,
Arc?
yep, yep, yep.
They just released Dia browser. It's like beta only, but that one, the video for it, I like a lot. You can AI chat with your tabs. So if you have a news article open, you could just click, "Hey, this tab,
That's incredible.
write me an article about this," without having to copy and paste that over into the AI.
That's incredible. That's awesome. So, dude, honestly, browsers like Google Chrome has what, 80 some percent of the browser market. It's insane. And it's just been not updated, not innovated at all. I think they're now on their toes. They're going to do some kind of updates to Chrome this year, but like there's so many things on the browser that could be better, and the browser just not built right from the start. For example, identity. I was listening to Shopify CEO the other day, the Shopify president, Harvey, and he was talking about how Toby, if he didn't build Shopify, he would have apparently built the browser, and he had an opinion on that. The browser should have identity and payment built into the browser. So it should be already there. Like you don't have to like sign into anything. Why isn't identity built into browser, right? Why should we have to create an account on every website? It should be already built in on our browser. It should have been already authenticated and have one passkey to all websites basically, right? Because it hosts all the websites.
But couldn't you argue that's what Chrome profiles are, and the Google Pay that is built in?
Kinda, but then you still have to like create profiles and like authenticate every time. I think he was talking more about like actual ID verification, like maybe KYC type of thing. I don't know.
It reminds me of the blockchain wallets, right? You can, if you're logged in with your wallet and your Chrome extension, any website you go to, you can immediately do that. But
That's for Web3.
yeah, but to me, it all kind of falls under that same bucket as Chrome profiles. I don't really feel.
Yeah, no, Chrome profiles is the closest thing that got to it. But another thing is like the payments too. Like they should have been already like saved and yeah, you can save some payment methods, but it's not exactly like, straightforward. Anyways, but I love this because like think about how much data there is on your browser, right? Browser is the second place after your OS on your phone or computer where you spend the most amount of time. It's the closest thing that's not an OS that can compete with an OS, if that makes sense. Because like what are the most popular OS out there? It's iOS, Android, and Mac OS and Windows, right? But you can't it's extremely hard to compete with Android now or iOS. So the next thing that you can compete with is the browser, which is why OpenAI just got confirmed that they're building a browser. These guys are building a browser. Everybody's building a browser because it's a little easier to switch people over to another browser than to switch them entirely from an OS. But guess what? This was my prediction from January that I said that all these companies are going to start, OpenAI is going to start building their browser, I said. And the next thing they're going to build is hardware, which already got confirmed. My third prediction is yet to be confirmed, which is what I said. They're going to build their own OS as well. They're going to build their own OS that you can run on different alternative phones and computers.
That will be very interesting to see. Because, yeah, we've been in a world that's been too kind of like the Democratic and Republican parties. We've had Android and iOS, right?
Exactly. So I think we're going to see some more fragmentation of the market, which was long overdue.
Yep. And on that note taker note, I think you mentioned my Plod note pin is coming tomorrow, so I'm excited to talk about that next week.
Oh, we should, because that thing that I got, the pendant, I happened to throw it into laundry and it's fucked. Hopefully that doesn't happen to you.
Yeah, no, I went with the necklace accessories.
Yeah. That's better.
Yep. All right, we got a semi-fun, interesting one here to end the pod for today. Hop over here, animation, right? So this is just a general repost of what Grok put together here, but from one of my favorite AI influencers, McKay Wrigley here. Thoughts on the Grok 4 Heavy after 12 hours using it. Crazy good. So he prompted it, create an animation of a crowd of people walking to form Hello World, I am Grok. Check this out. This is from one prompt in Grok.
Wow. Wow. That was not bad. It's almost like creating a simulation, dude. I am Grok.
What's coming up next here? Smiley face. There you go.
Wow. Oh, wait, it just continued from there? It didn't, the prompter didn't ask?
Let's click through here. As camera changes to bird's eye view. And yeah, it one shot of the whole thing.
So looks like this model is more detail oriented, even though like the graphics aren't as solid as like VO3, for example, where it's like photorealistic. This one isn't photorealistic, but it's like a lot more detail oriented, huh? It follows more of the physics of the world.
And it didn't misspell anything either.
Yeah, no, that's been fixed with GPT as well, mainly. But yeah, this is great, man. I've tried Grok 4 yesterday. I didn't really get to test its limits.
Yeah, I saw Elon post that you can now give Grok 4 a entire GitHub repository.
Yeah. Which Elon was saying it's going to compete with Cursor, but I read the comments. They're saying, well, it's not natively built in, so nobody copy pastes, dude. You completely botched it, they said. So I think they're going to fix that. If they do, then he can compete with Cursor. But I love this competition that's going on, dude, with like big companies trying to like outbeat each other. I don't think we've witnessed this fierce of a competition since the rise of the internet itself in the 90s and 2000s. Like after like 2010, I think like the whole like tech has been more or less, I wouldn't say stagnant, but it hasn't had this fierce of a competition on like AI race type of like, not with blockchain, not with any other technology. We've had this much of a race for dominance, whatever you want to call it.
You froze up on me.
Did I lose you, Andrew?
All right, you're back.
I'm here. Yeah.
I think you're back. But yeah, I'm not sure if you can hear me right now, but I think to your point, that was that era of kind of content and social media competition. And now we've gotten more on the tech and the AI layer of development rather than the currency of attention, so to say, with social. And there we have it, closing it off right at 30